Welcome to 50 Plus Home and Gardening. Today we are going to do seeds. And so even though it's cold and they're not ready to be put out in the garden, we can do something else. If you had a greenhouse, you could start your seeds in a greenhouse, but if you don't have that, here's a miniature greenhouse. So this acts, it heats up inside here. This is 1 gallon. This is just water. So we're gonna cut some of these, put dirt on the bottom, put holes on the bottom, and we're gonna just kind of go through the process together because I've never done it. And so let's see how easy or hard it is. It may be a simple deal. If you have a pot, that's probably an 8-inch to 10-inch. You could probably put one of these cloches on from the dollar store. So I just bought this. I don't know if you would have it this year, but I bought this last year. You could put them under here, so it kind of acts as a little atrium for them to be heated until it gets a little warmer. So you can do that with pots, or you can do jugs.
So today I'm going to put some seeds in some jugs, and looking at my journal, which as you can tell is a sophisticated sheet of yellow paper, we're about 6 weeks before our last frost date here in Virginia. This is the 3rd week of February. So what I'm going to put in today are 2 different seeds, sweet peppers and broccoli, because those 2 seeds need to be planted before your last frost date, about 6 to 8 weeks. First thing I'm going to do is take this jug. It's a plain old milk jug from the grocery store. We cleaned it out. It's all empty. You don't need the lid. Just throw the lids away. But we're going to turn this into a miniature greenhouse. And all it really takes is a knife, box knife, and some duct tape. I'm going to show you what to do. First, you need to put some drain holes in the bottom. Got to have some drain holes. So that's what we do. And all they have to be is some basic, just shove it in there. Maybe a 4. Okay, if you don't have any drain holes, you'll end up with a swamp. To cut the holes in the bottom, you want to do that before you cut the jug in half. After you cut it in half, it's too floppy and you won't be able to hold it. And I'm going to cut it in half, but not all the way around. I cut it like this, but not all the way around. I'm going to leave this section just under the handle uncut. So watch what I do. Okay. It makes it kind of floppy, but it'll go back together again. So what I've got here is a little miniature greenhouse. The light can go in, I can water it through the hole, some sunshine gets in. The bottom half is for soil and seeds, the top half is like a little greenhouse. So I poked my holes in the bottom. All I'm gonna do now is get some potting mix. This is Outdoor Seed Starting Potting Mix, pretty standard stuff. In the end, I'll tape it around the outside and you'll see how it works. So we're just using plain old dirt, but it's from the store. This isn't from the ground around our house. We bought Stay Green potting mix and it's got fertilizer built right into it. This was not fancy stuff. In fact, I believe it was the least expensive dirt at our local hardware store. So I've just taken it in the bag, put it in our things, and that's what I'm gonna fill these jugs with. In fact, it says right here, it's got 9 months worth of fertilizer. So I don't need to do any more fertilizing for these seeds all the way into the summer. This soil is already pretty moist. So I'm looking at the broccoli packet here, and the information about how deep to put them is right on the packet. Be sure to read the packet. I want to put these about 1/4 inch deep. This is for broccoli, about 1/4 inch deep. Now you don't have to worry at this point about how far apart they are because these are all going to be transplanted into the garden in about 6 or 8 weeks. So for now, I'm just going to put in seeds in a little circle and maybe 1 or 2 in the middle. So there might be 6 or 8 plants in this particular garden. So these are broccoli seeds, and they are pretty small. So I'm just going to use my finger, poke a few holes. They only need to be about 1/4 of an inch deep in this case. All right, at this point I have my seeds in the holes. They're only 1/4 of an inch deep, so I'm just going to cover them over with my hands. And they are done, and they are good to go. Again, you don't have to worry about how far apart you're putting these at this time, because these are all going to be transplanted into the garden in 6 or 8 weeks. So now I'm just going to make sure that they are well watered. You don't want them to be dry in there. You can water them once it's closed, because there's a hole in the top. But I'm going to get some good watering in going right now, and then we'll close the thing up. Some people like to water their dirt before they put it in. They water their soil right there in the tray, and then they load the thing up. And that's just as good too. As long as those seeds get well watered at the beginning, they must have some moisture in order to germinate. So now I'm just going to wrap this up with some tape. So once you've got this jug sealed up, I like to label it with what's in the jug, what I just planted, and also today's date.
Turn it towards me. There you go.
Now you're going to want to put this somewhere where it can drain okay, like in the dirt, because you can see the water will come out the bottom, and that's okay. So let's just put this over in the garden. So we're just going to line them up here on this ha-ha wall. It makes it easy for us to monitor them and water them if need be and see what's going on. You can also take a look. Nothing sprouted yet. Okay. So we have 3 of them here that are clear plastic. I'm not sure if it's going to work. We're going to give them a trial. They may be so clear that the sun goes in and then burns the plants. Maybe not though, but we'll see what happens. Same thing, I'm going to take the caps off. You can throw the caps away. You won't need those at all. You poke 4 holes in the bottom for drainage. Cut the thing in half. In this case, I'm going to cut the label off too. Same procedure with the big clear jugs. Leave a part of it hinged so you can just tape it up and then you can handle the whole thing. I'm just going to fill it halfway up with dirt, plant some seeds, and move on from there. So I'm going to put broccoli in this clear jug as well, and it'll be an experiment between the frosted one with broccoli and this one with broccoli. Same thing, 1/4 of an inch. I can just use my finger to poke a little hole, and then I'm just going to cover it over with my hands. So this is broccoli seeds. Again, all these are going to be replanted out into the garden, so it's not like you have to space them any special distance apart. Save the leftover seeds because those are important. Just covering it over with my hand a little bit. Put some water in. I'm going to mark it with the date and the contents. Another method, if you don't want to use the milk jugs, is to just use a regular pot. This is a little prettier so you can keep things in it longer. And then you use an inexpensive plastic cloche cover that you can get at the dollar store. It comes with a little vent on top, which I think you should leave open most of the time. And it just fits down nicely over the seedlings, and you hold it in place with some garden staples like you might for anything else. So let's put some sweet peppers in this one. I've got some broccoli already done, so I'm going to put some sweet peppers. I've looked at the packet again, and it tells me 6 to 8 weeks before last frost at about 1/4 inch deep. It's the same as the broccoli. So I'm just going to use my finger to poke some holes. And then put some of these tiny, tiny seeds in each little hole. They only need to be about 1/4 inch deep as long as they get in there. And again, you want to make sure the soil is very moist at this point. I'm not going to water these in because Marie watered this dirt before we put it in the bucket. It's very moist, but as long as those seeds are in contact with moisture, they should germinate like normal. Take the inexpensive plastic clutch and just set it right down over the top. Use a couple of staples because the wind will blow it away. Now this pot has drainage in the bottom, just like any other pot does. So that's good. It should stay good like that, and we can stick it in the garden and look for our plants to grow. I'm gonna label this pot with a stick, with a little popsicle stick, because I don't want to write right on this clutch because we reuse them for many other things. That's it.
Okay, so here they are, different kinds. This is a clear one, although it's got condensation, so that may help it. I'm not sure. This one does not have condensation, so maybe that would be the difference. So that's a good comparison. And then, of course, we have the cloche. And see, these are the three different kinds. The milk jug that's kind of tinted, and then the cloche, which is also steamed. So the two things that are see-through are steaming. Okay, that's what it looks like inside the bucket. So if you felt like you needed some water, you just put some in. I added some of my own bottles, Dianthus, and Snapdragons, and I think one tomato. Which one is tomato? I believe that one may be tomatoes, even though I didn't mark it, so I may put an X on it. But I can actually tell a tomato plant. So anyways, the rest of these are Dianthus and Snapdragons. I don't know about the Snapdragons. They were so tiny. It said it had 50, but it looked like there were 10. But one thing for me is even though I want to keep my eye on all these, this is the front of the door and we come in every day. These are ugly. I hate to say this. I want to be truthful to you guys, but they're so ugly, especially with the duct tape. They look like, like my first grade craft project. So what I'm gonna do is I have the cistern, and on the other side, no one's gonna bother, no one's gonna see from this angle. You see all this? You got the beautiful pots on this side, but on the other side, we're gonna go up the trail of the Williamsburg garden. And let's go ahead and bring a few of these up and see what we can do. Nice handles, lightweight. So let's go up the hill. So we're gonna go up Williamsburg. Let's take the center. Pansies are doing good. It's about all that I can see. All right, so this garden supply cage is completely empty. So let's put these in. Let's see how many we can get in. Whew, I think I could put 3 wide, I've come to find out. And I put the clear ones, one is towards the sun and one is kind of backed in by some other ones, just to make sure it wasn't the sun that was overheating it. So Dianthus warbley there, broccoli, and the cloche is, I believe, broccoli or pepper. So these are all nice and tugged away from raccoons. You wouldn't have to protect them. You could probably put them behind a garage. I probably could have put them back there. No one looks back there, and I don't have to look at it. And if I get a lot more, and I had a lot more seeds, I could do that. But for right now, I'm just leaving them in there, just because it's empty. Now that I've cleaned the ha-ha wall off of all those jugs, it looks so much nicer. One last method that we're gonna do is, I've got some seed starter organic espoma. This is, I think, a little bit more for a delicate inside. So I'm gonna get this dirt inside a tray and I'm gonna do some inside seeds. Okay, this project is inside the house. If you have some sort of a light or if sun comes into your house, you can do an inside tray. And I actually just put all that seed starter dirt instead of putting in pots, which take up room, I just let the seeds kind of develop in here with this tray on. And then I will take them out and I will take the individual seed and then I will put them in a individual tray. So I'll show you. So when they get bigger, this is outside, I have these trays that I saved from other things. You can save your trays. This would be a 6-pack that I could put smaller ones. And I also have these really fun little teeny ones that I saved, little, I don't know, maybe 3-inch pots, 2-inch, very small. And then if I need to get larger, I can go to the next size. I also have this grow light in the kitchen. Then I will put the tray when they get a little bit, my seeds get a little bit bigger, and I'll put them under here and they can go under this grow light. And the grow light has different levels that I can bring it down. So that's some methods for inside seeding, and those are the 3 things I'm doing this year. I hope this will encourage you on a cool, sunny day to keep moving, keep gardening, and stay creative. And I'll see you next time.